there's my break. And I'm back at it. I closed everything out. This is a picture of me and my friends at Disneyland. If you're wondering who the lady is on my screen. All right, trying to finish up this chapter. It's the next thing. I always psych myself out when I think about like, oh, I have to do all of this. And then I'm like, I'm too tired to do all of that. That's a lot. I'm going to not do any. And that's not the right attitude. It's, you just got to say, okay, I've got to do this next thing. I've got to do this next thing. So that's what I'm going to focus on. Yawn. I'm going to work for another hour and a half. So I'm going to work until 2:30. And that might sound like, what? But I slept till 4 p.m., so it's not so crazy. All right, back to work. Time for some smooching. Trick I found for describing facial expressions. Because sometimes it can get boring being like, they smiled. Or like just describing like the emotion. Sometimes it's not very interesting. So when I have a facial expression in mind, I'll like make that face. And then I'll try to like explain what that looks like and use that in my writing. Maybe it's a more roundabout way to just be like, they scowled. But sometimes that can help you avoid cliches and kind of tap into how expressions really feel and look to us, which can be nice for the reader. And I'm sure it's hilarious when I'm sitting there writing and people see me going like, finish the chapter. Woo! All right. It is 1:22 in the morning and I just finished chapter 13. We are on to chapter 14. I'm at 31,100 words, which means I only need 1,000 words for this chapter actually to stay on track. So we're going to see if I can do that. It's going to be a shorter chapter, but I know I'm going to want that word count to use in my later chapters that are more climactic. I'm even kind of tempted to just skip this chapter. Maybe I should skip this. Like not skip like I'm going to have to do it later, but like just not include it. Because I don't know if it actually like... So I don't make... well, there's some like gifts and that's nice. And if I take it out, then that means... So there's supposed to be like 1,000 words in that chapter. So that means I would have to spread that 1,000 across, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other chapters. That would only add 200 more words, which would mean they each just have to be 1,800 words. Okay, I'm going to do it. It's going to be like a little, it's going to be shorter. It's going to be a little kind of a side, but I think it's a good section to kind of explain some of the lore that I've been, some of the pagan traditions in the book, and it'll be a chance to just kind of deepen their relationship a little bit more. So I'm going to keep it. I'm going to try to keep it short. So that should be easy, hopefully. So just 1,000 words. Let's do it. It is almost 2 a.m. and I just hit 32,000 words. I'm like a little bit past 32,000, but the point is that I'm about to wrap up this chapter, which is really exciting, and I just hit 32,000 words. So I'm very happy about that. I'm going to check that off. Boom! Getting very close. Less than 8,000 words to finish up this book. I got a whole half an hour left in this writing session. Honestly, big thanks to you guys for giving me something a little special with this writing session. It's definitely been fun to... I'm talking about it right now like I'm like applauding myself for being totally done. But I am applauding myself for getting done as much as I have. Gotta finish this chapter. I'm glad I ended up doing this chapter. It's pretty cute. I did some cute things with it. I think it's important to the story. We keep going! Okay, we are on chapter 15. I'm super excited about this. I'm kind of recalibrating my necessary word count again. I'm kind of on the fence about whether, when I get closer to the end of the book, I do this a lot. I keep track of word count pretty carefully. Kind of on the fence about whether this is a helpful tactic or is actually slowing me down. I don't know, maybe it would be better to just think like, okay, I'm gonna make each of these at least 1,500 and then just write. And if I go over word count, whatever, me and my editors can cut stuff if necessary. Maybe that would be better. But I feel like it kind of gives me an idea of where I'm at. And I don't like getting to... I've had this happen a lot. Where I'm not paying attention to word count at all. And I get to the very... Like, I hit my goal. 35,000, 40K, whatever it is for that book, and I'm nowhere near the end of the book. And then I either have to like real quickly just shove it in the next 2,000 words. That happens to me all the time. So when I'm not like paying attention to my word count like this. So I don't know. It probably makes me slower, but it means that my endings end up being better and the pacing's a lot better. So let's see. I'm on chapter 15. There's going to be 19 in total. I find one of the things that helps write quickly. It's a fantastic sentence. Everything about that sentence was grammatically perfect. What are you talking about? Having short paragraphs, not short pages. You can't do anything about page length. Short paragraphs, short chapters, and like zooming in on the page a lot. So it looks like you're writing physically more. It makes you feel like you're writing more, which gives you more energy to keep going. And same thing with having shorter chapters. It just feels good to finish a chapter. You really feel like you'll accomplish something. Of course, again, these are tips when you want to hit a high word count. If your goal is to just hit a certain word count, that's your primary goal, having shorter chapters and having shorter paragraphs will make you feel like you're doing more, and you'll feel like you're being faster, and you'll get more done. It's okay if I go over. I get paid by the word on this contract anyway. But I refuse to word count stuff. I refuse to do it. I see sometimes like people who write blogs by the word do it. And I get why. It's because like often the payment's kind of shitty for freelance writers. But I refuse to word count stuff on fiction especially because I don't want to be like Dickens. I don't want to do it. I don't want to make people read gigantic 3,000 page books or whatever that really could have been 100 pages. All right, we continue. Okay, it's another break, and I definitely need some music to chill out, especially when it gets late. And my boyfriend, who's definitely real, went to sleep. I don't like being up by myself that much late at night because I get spooked, but I don't get spooked as much as I used to, so that's nice. And as long as I have noise, I'm like a dog. I'm like a small terrier dog. If there is noise to distract me, then I feel fine. So I'm just chilling out. It's about 2:50 in the morning right now. Making myself take my break, even though it is hard because I'm very close to done and I kind of want to just blast through. But blasting through is another 6,000 words. That's a huge amount. That's going to take me another 2 or 3 sessions. Probably at least 3 sessions. So I really got to space this out because I'm going to be back to working at 3. Yeah, I'll probably be working till like 9 on this. It tends to go faster when you get closer to the finish line. At least it does for me most of the time. Sometimes it like crawls by those last 5,000 words, but that's only when I really don't like the project. Like I like this project, so it should go pretty fast. Yeah, I gotta remember to take that time to chill because 6,000 words is still a lot of words. I don't want to get burnt out and not finish the project. And after I finish writing the draft, I have to format it and write like a brief blurb to go on like, the back of the book copy, I guess. So they're still writing even after I'm done with it, which is often the hardest part because I just want to be done. Okay, we are back to work. I made myself take a full 30-minute break so I could chill out. I got some good tunes playing. I still got my coffee. Spotify got my back with one of these daily mixes. It's actually a really important thing. If you are going to attempt an all-nighter as a grown-ass adult, I don't mean college. College bodies can live through anything. If you are going to attempt an all-nighter as a grown-ass person like me, then you have to stay hydrated. Take some vitamins, more than vitamins, eat. Make sure you eat because it's not your usual schedule, so you don't think like in terms of breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? Like when it's noon, it's time to eat lunch. But if you're pulling an all-nighter, you forget to eat, and your body is also just kind of like, what the hell? I don't really recommend all-nighters if you can avoid them. But my sleep schedule is kind of messed up, and I really have to get a lot of work done, so. And, yeah, let's see. I'm gonna work until 4:30. Now, one of the nice things about working all night is nobody else you know is really up. A lot easier to avoid distractions. Unless you end up distracting yourself. But I get distracted by talking with other people, either online or in person. So that's a nice thing about an all-nighter. Probably make myself some tea in a little bit. Tea's a little more calming than this caffeine milkshake, this drug milkshake I have. We're back in the book. We're at 33,600 words, which means I'm 400 away from my next goal, and I'm 500 away from the end of this chapter, which is very exciting. I was looking and I thought that I hadn't started recording, which is something I've done before. I've totally done that. Filmed a whole video and realized that I was not pressing record at the right time. And get myself some water. Actually, I almost forgot. I really need to get myself some water. If you're working for long periods, even if it's not overnight, drink water. Drink water. Make that a part of your work routine. If you feel like you're having trouble focusing, you don't feel good when you sit down to work for long periods, you gotta get up and stretch. And there's like a lot of things that'll help. But one of the big differences you'll see is if you start drinking water regularly, you'll feel way better. And you'll be way more focused, way more productive, way more ready to work. Drink water. I forget to do it too. Drink your water. Seriously. Life hack. 34,000 words. Woo, feeling like a champion. Only 6,000 more. Like I said, you know, that could take anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. However long it takes. Afterwards, I'm gonna celebrate being nice to myself. I don't know, throwing some confetti, and then I'm gonna get some rest. I started at 26,000, so I've written 34. So I've written about 8,000 since I started. Since I started at 10, I've written about 8,000 words. So, you know, it's like 5 hours and some. Try not to look back too much, because it can get kind of like, oh God, like that took me so long, so this is probably gonna take me this. Like if you spend a bunch of time, just focus on the next little goal and get it done. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna focus on the next little goal, which is finishing this chapter. So they're making out in the snow. They're smooching in the snow. Nice. I was about to be like, oh well, I felt like I was done with the chapter. So that was chapter 16, and that was chapter 15. I'm on chapter 16 now, but I felt like I was done with chapter 15. I was like, oh, but I don't think I made the word count that I wanted for that chapter. But it's okay, because I'll just make it up in the later ones. But it turns out I checked, and I did make the word count. So that's nice. Little surprises like that are nice. When you're farther than you think you are. Taking my vitamins. Getting that sweet calcium. Or vitamin C. I don't know what this is. It tastes like orange. So maybe it's vitamin C. On to the next chapter! We're definitely getting to the point where it's a little bit harder to stay focused. But as you'll notice, I don't have any snacks right now. So I'm gonna get myself some more water. And I'm gonna get another snack. My mom is in that phase of womanhood where the highest form of comedy is mugs with funny phrases on them. She also likes fuzzy socks, or just patterned socks, or like socks with faces on them. So I think a hard thing about where I'm at right now is I'm kind of far away from my various goals. I'm at 34,480. So the end of this chapter is supposed to be 35,600. The next check off my list is 36,000. So I'm at least 1,100 away from my next goal, which can feel kind of daunting. Especially when you're feeling kind of tired, if you've pumped out a lot of words already or just worked for a long time. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter how long you've been writing for or how much you've written. When you feel worn out, you're going to feel worn out. Everybody has a different stamina, and it can vary from day to day. There are definitely many days where I would not be able to do this. That's why I'm jumping on this, because I felt good when I got up yesterday afternoon. I felt ready to write. Yeah, so the problem is, though, it's a little bit daunting to think of, oh, I have another 1,000 words. So I'm going to break this up a little bit more for myself, just mentally. You know, people say, like, just write one more sentence. Sometimes that's helpful for me, like, okay, let's just write one more sentence and see what happens. If I feel like I'm just sitting there staring at the screen, that can get me jump-started. But for something like this, when I need to motivate myself beyond just, like, the one sentence, there are 2 sections to this chapter. One is an introspective walk through the snow, and the other one is a call from this girl's parents. So I'm going to focus on just getting to the point where I can get to the call, where I can have her get the phone call, which is going to kind of cut my work in half. And thinking about this helps me with the pacing of the chapter anyway. So my next goal is to just do this kind of next bit of action, this next bit of the story, and try to get to 35,000 words with that next bit of the story. And that's a little less daunting. Like, going from 34,400 to 35,000 is a lot easier. That's 600 words. It's still, you know, gonna take some time, but it feels a little more manageable and feels like it's gonna go faster. So it's basically tricking yourself into continuing to work. Whatever I do at 4:30 in the morning, I'm going to take a break. Like, if I get to 4:30 and I'm exhausted or even near exhausted, like, you don't even have to get to that point. You can just, okay, I did a lot. And I will continue working on this tomorrow or whenever I have time next. You don't have to push yourself past what you can actually do. So always check in during your especially when you get to a break, and figure out, okay, can I actually keep going? We're gonna keep going right now, though. I think I got this. 2 ways to boost word count while you're writing without taking away from the story. Like, not word count stuffing. Word count stuffing. It's like stuffing a turkey, but not yummy. Give a character time to really think something through. Really focus on their perspective. This slows down the pace in a lot of narratives and doesn't feel supernatural all the time. I think it's nice in romance, because people really like seeing that doubt in characters, really getting into a character's mind and like feeling that nervousness and those butterflies. So having a character really think about something and think through something can be fun in certain genres. The other way is dialogue. Having 2 characters banter for a little bit or talk back and forth if you're feeling really stuck. One of my favorite things to do is just let characters, and that's because I like writing dialogue. If it's not your favorite thing, you might consider doing this to get some more practice. If you want to get better at dialogue, I would say the best thing to do is honestly watch movies made by directors and writers who have a reputation for really snappy, really funny back and forths with their characters. So anything by Martin McDonagh is really good. Honestly, watching movies that are in your genre will give you an idea about like dialogue and also how to write action scenes, specifically fight scenes. I think watching action scenes in movies is really helpful. But anyway, if you want to add word count, but you're not really sure where to go next exactly with the plot, let a couple of characters talk to each other, banter, ask each other questions. We do that in real life, and that's how we get to know each other. So it's a fun thing to include in your stories. I like to do that, and in romance in particular, I like to give my characters some time to really consider things, think things over. Because that doubt and confusion is cute and fun when it's happening to somebody else. It's not fun IRL, it feels awful. Here's a funny thing. I was just about to have a character think like, oh, maybe I should get a therapist. And then I'm like, wait, maybe she already got one. And that's like why she figured out why she was able to figure out that she's gay. But no, she just figured it out. Because she likes women. And that was a big clue. Okay, so I could say her thinking maybe she should get a therapist. I love putting that in the stories because I really think we need to normalize it. Therapy is not just for sick people, and also a lot of us are sick, and that's okay. And we should do something about it. It's like if you get a little, here's my little rant. If you get a broken leg, you go to the doctor and the doctor fixes your leg. So if your brain is broke, and I word that as someone who is mentally ill, very mentally ill, and has been for a long time, and is getting better, but is mentally ill, sometimes your brain broke. That's it. It's long and short of it. Sometimes your brain's broke. And you need a brain doctor. So you go to the brain doctor. It's like anything else. Your heart is messed up, you go to the heart doctor. Your leg is messed up, you go to the leg doctor. You go to the doctor helps you. So I don't get why there's such a thing. For some reason we think the brain, it should be perfect. We should just be able to, just smile more. No, it's an organ like anything else. And organs can fail or do their job wrong. Like my brain doesn't keep serotonin around long enough. And a bunch of other stuff. So like a doctor helps with that. And even if your brain is working pretty much fine, therapy's great. It's like if somebody's going to the gym, we're not just like, oh, is it because you're unhealthy? It's because you're sick. It's like, no. It's like, oh, are you just going to the gym because like something's wrong? Like there's something wrong with your muscles? It's like, no, I want to be as healthy as possible. I want to feel good. So I'm doing this thing that helps me be healthier. And that's the same thing with therapy. I feel like how my hair's got this like whoosh, like I'm constantly running. It looks like it's like I'm a cartoon character who's running and my hair is like whooshing backwards. I'm gonna have to cut it soon. Anyway, I'm stalling. Again, I'm doing the facial expression thing. Like two of the characters just ran into each other on accident. Like not physically, but they're walking around and they saw each other. And I was trying to think of one of the characters being like, oh my God. You know, like that kind of like, this is ridiculous. Except less of a fake bitch than I just did it. Like more of a, we're so cute. But like sincere. Now that I'm seeing how I'm doing it, it looks like when you run into somebody in the grocery store or you don't want to talk to, and then you run into them again and you have to be like, haha, fancy meeting you here. And the vegetables. Yeah, I can't. It's nice to see you. I am in a hurry though. Yeah, okay. Have a nice day. Sometimes you just come up with phrases that like feel good when you write them. Like this one, like biting into a crisp apple. It's simple. It's definitely not new. It's not a new phrase by any means, but I think it is evocative. 35,000. Beautiful. 35,000. It's now 4:12. So I say I did that pretty quick. Little past 35,000. That means I'm almost to the end of this chapter, which is kick-ass, and it means that I can move on to the next part of this chapter, which includes the phone call. I was just thinking this because we got new desk chairs. We had like really bad, like not at all ergonomic chairs for a long time. They were cute, but then I broke one because I'm always leaning back. So we got new chairs. My boyfriend, who's definitely real, picked them out. I did not pick them out. My real boyfriend did. And they're nice. They're very ergonomic, and they encourage me to sit up straight. I have horrible posture, but these encourage me to sit up straight. And it just makes me think, really important thing, before you ever sit down to write, before you ever sit down to work on any creative project, make sure you've set up your space in a way that feels good and is conducive to your work. I'm not a particularly tidy person. You can probably just kind of see that. So I'm not saying you have to be like, oh, perfectly organized with like cute little things everywhere. I mean, that probably helps, honestly. Like maybe if I made my area more cute, I'd feel more inspired. But I'm not trying to be somebody other than who I am. There are some things that definitely help me. I need a certain amount of room to write in. I can't feel too closed in. That's why I also have a standing desk. I've shown that off before as my make space. But I have my big screen. So that's the other thing, is having a monitor that you can plug a laptop in or anything. Sometimes I work just on the laptop, but that's if there's something else about the environment that's really helpful, like working outside or like sitting in just a cozy place and making it feel like fun time somewhere in the house. But if I'm at the desk, then I like having my nice big monitor. Makes it easier on my eyes, putting it at the right distance, you know, making sure that the things that could distract me are like far enough away that I don't reach for them, especially my phone. That's the biggest thing. It's making sure that I can't easily grab. That's the biggest time suck, is social media and stuff. So making sure that the phone is somewhere I can't grab it. Having my assortment of snacks. Having my music at the ready, you know, making sure that everything is set up. Having my keyboard in the right spot. You know, just setting up your space how you need. Temperature is a big deal for me. There's very certain temperatures that make me sleepy or less active. Often having the fan on helps me. Noise really helps me focus. That's why I use music a lot. I have a ton of bookshelves. I just work surrounded by books, and that really helps me. I love being surrounded by books. It really improves my mood in general. So make sure there are happy things in your space, and then learn the things that distract you. I think I talk about this in our Make Space guide, but if you feel like you're getting distracted a lot when you're working, keep a notepad next to you, and every time that you get taken off task, write down what it is that's distracting you. So I figured out kind of through this that one of the big distractions for me is being by windows. I like to be near windows because I like the natural light, but I will sit and stare out a window. So it's actually a lot better for me to be facing away from windows. If I'm working in a cafe or something, I need to be somewhere where I cannot look into, or I cannot look out of a window. Because then I will just daydream all day long. And daydreaming is good. So some days I don't mind. Like I like to do that. I like to sit. So if I'm trying to ideate, you know, if I'm trying to come up with ideas, or I'm not on a particular I'm not on a big deadline, I'll sit where I can see out a window, and that kind of helps the daydreamy vibe. That can really help me come up with new ideas and stuff and help me feel good. But on days when I really need to grind it out, I do not sit where I can see out of a window. Once you kind of know what the problem is, you can try to work that out of your writing environment. Our Make Space guide is really good for that. I'll put the link in the description below, so you can check it out. But it walks you through step by step, really simply, of how to make your perfect creative space so it's the most possible conducive for you and your success and your specific desired environment. I'm almost done with this chapter. Yeah! And I'm almost at my next break because it's 4:22. Things are going a little bit slower than I'd like. But really after this, I only have 3 more chapters. And that last chapter is going to be really short. So that's nice. I've been doing about a chapter every session. So this may take 3 more sessions. I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping I can get it done in 2 and have the second session be kind of short. But I do still have to, like I said before, format and put in the blurbs. So, I mean, I probably shouldn't even figure this out of like how late it's gonna be. I think I'm still fine for like how long I've been working. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm about to take my break. I'm happy about that. Kind of got a headache. I'm gonna eat some more. Have some spaghetti, so something with some protein, and then I'll probably feel a lot better because I'm starting to feel pretty sleepy because my body knows it's nighttime and I should be asleep. This all-nighter, what is probably gonna be an all-nighter, has been a lot of fun, but I'm definitely gonna want to make sure I get enough sleep because there's nothing dumber than pushing, grinding it out, and then not resting, and then getting up and trying to grind it out again. Because you're not going to be anywhere near as productive. Nor are you going to feel good. Like, even if you're like, productivity is a capitalist mind, you're also not going to feel good. So, neither thing happens. So you want to make sure you're always getting enough sleep. Okay, it is now break time. It is 4:30, so I'm going to take a break until 5. We're going to refresh, restore, and get ready to write more. Siri popped up. She thought I wanted to talk to her. And I didn't. I wanted to talk to you guys. I just want to show like my screen so you guys know I'm not effing lying and that I am in fact writing things. A thing that I wanted to point out is I am able to do this long all-nighter. Oh, let me get my food. Got some noodles. I am able to do this all-nighter and then plan my schedule tomorrow around getting some sleep and starting on the next book because this is my job. So this is my full-time job. I write and I help people with marketing stuff and I write marketing stuff for people. So like my full-time job is writing. The bulk of my job is fiction writing. So if that is not the case for you, one, if you would like it to be, I would love to help you with that. And the best place to start is our top 9 ways for creatives to make money online. I'll put that link in the description as well. But more importantly, if that is not where you are at, then do not worry, do not beat yourself up, do not be like, oh, why can't I write for 12 hours straight or whatever I'm going to end up doing. You have a job. Jobs are tiring. Jobs suck. They take a lot of energy. They don't just suck. A lot of jobs are very good. If you are in your job, I hope you enjoy your job and you also like to write. These 2 things can be consistent. Consider this a lot of advice to help make the most out of writing sessions when you do get time and how to do longer writing sessions on the weekends. But do not feel bad. I know how tiring it is to have, like, this is the job. This is what I do. I can relax other times of the week if I get enough work done. If you will notice, I have no pets or kids. There's nobody I had to take for a walk. My boyfriend's been complaining that I have not walking him enough. But besides that, there's nobody to like demand or, fairly require my attention. And I just want to remind you, like, however much time you can spend on writing, that's awesome. You're doing great. And consider all this inspiration that you can put in those long hours if you want to, or you have time or energy. And also this is advice on how to make your writing sessions more productive once you do get into them. So just consider it that way. Take the actual time spent with a grain of salt. I'm just hoping that this inspires y'all and shows you that you can sit down and do a ton of writing. Maybe this will really help people trying to catch up on the weekends for NaNoWriMo. If you have no idea how, like, I am even getting, this much done in this amount of time, or maybe you're like, you scrub, in which case tell me your secrets. But if you're looking at what I'm doing and you're thinking like, wow, how can she write for that long? Well, I hope you're seeing how I'm managing to do it, the different tactics. But if you're thinking, how can she write that much? And just like keep moving, then again, I'm going to reiterate, definitely read Writing Down the Bones. That totally upped my game. Really, really did. Doing something like NaNoWriMo and reading that book really helped me get to a place where I could pump out a first draft in a short amount of time. All right, I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to actually eat my spaghetti from a can. Are you jealous of my lifestyle?